guys, and welcome back to another episode of Fit and Focus for Remote Work and Digital Nomads podcast. My name is Shurina. I'm a certified nutritionist, health, nutrition, brain performance coach, and just someone with a lot of passion for helping you guys to learn how to use different tools to feel, look, and do your absolute best. But specifically these days, I'm specializing in teaching people how to use their brain better. But not specifically how to take the brain, switch something on, switch something off. Not exactly. But how to talk to your brain, how to organize your environment to help your brain, how to do certain routines or why to do certain routines, what kind of routines when it comes to your lifestyle, to your sleep, to your light routine, to breathing, to listening to something, looking at something, how to use all these routines to prime your brain, to condition your brain, to tell your brain what to do and allow your brain to do it better. You see, our brain is an amazing machine, but it was designed, it evolved in a completely different environment, in completely different conditions, meaning we didn't have all this electronics and all these artificially created houses and having the ability to be inside all day, every day, right? So our brain developed and evolved to deal with completely different things. And that's why these days when we have to do many different tasks that are not at all what our ancestors used to do, and it all happened in evolutionary perspective in very short period of time. So that's why our brain is struggling. And very often we are confusing itself with signals that are counterintuitive to our brain. Like if you want your brain to focus, why would you want to have so many distractions around it, right? Your phone, some tablet, and your laptop, and there are people walking in a coffee shop, and there are sounds and all kinds of pictures on the wall and all this, interesting and exciting, novel stuff, but you want your brain to focus, so your brain is confused, right? And it's just one example when your environment just doesn't support what you want your brain to do. And as a brain coach, that's what I help people to do. I help people to realize these things matter. But also, of course, there are countless things in things like nutrition or lifestyle, sleep. So I help people to realize that these things matter, and that's why they've been struggling with the brain. And when they put them in place, then they don't struggle anymore, because now they use the brain the way it's designed. And how do we know how it's designed and how, what to do to make it function better? Well, there is more and more neuroscience research coming out, and we have better tools to measure brain activity and what brain activity correlates with different modalities, things like focus, like motivation, confidence, anxiety. We understand which activity contributes to what state and how you can modulate or change those things to get the desired results. And that's how we start to understand, this is why the brain does this or functions like that. And so I spent quite a lot of time in my career analyzing the body, and then I put on top of that the neuroscience piece, and it all kind of clicked. It's like, yeah, this is why I felt this way. I felt anxious or confident that time. And these are the tools I can use to now do it by design, exactly when I need it. But today is not about that, not just about the brain performance of all these tools. Today is actually about motivation, guys. Motivation. Have you ever wondered why so many people you admire, why leaders in a specific area, like there is Brendon Burchard, whose catchphrase, live life, love, matter. And he's all about performance and development and living our life to the fullest, right? There is Simon Sinek, who talks a lot about leadership, and he wants to create a world where everybody gets up excited and goes happy to work and comes back even happier, right? But his thing is all about why. There is Gary Vaynerchuk, that is, I think he's all about, do you think and you'll succeed? Work hard, love what you do, and you'll get there. Don't go for some stuff that you hate, but you think it's going to make you successful. All these people who you admire, who've been going at their thing, seems like for ages, for decade, for 2 decades. And you're like, how do they do that? Like, how do you find the things that you can work on for 2, for 3, for 4, for 5 decades? Warren Buffett, like, being the investment finance guy since like forever, and he's gonna die like that, and he's gonna be remembered for that, right? Or Elon Musk, when he was like a teenager, he chose 2 areas. I wanna make people multiplanetary species, and I want to change how the energy works, because if we don't have any energy and we just waste it all, we're not gonna be alive on the planet, right? So he decided back then, and he's still gonna working at that, and he's gonna be working at that till the rest of his life. You think like, how do they have this vision? Where do they get it? And how are they able to stay motivated and to go at it year after year after year? It doesn't matter where the economy is, where fashion is, where trends are. They just go with the same thing over and over and over again, right? How do they do that? Where do they get the motivation, and how do they know what to go after? Well, let's first start with, how do they know this thing? And I had fortunate encounters with quite a few of those people, Gary Vee and Simon Sinek, and people like Tim Ferriss or Maria Sharapova. And then what I learned, they never decided that that was their thing. They just did what felt natural to them. And at first, at least, because a lot of them, like Maria Sharapova, she studied when she was like 7 years old or something. And they did what was natural to them, that they enjoyed, and they worked hard at it, and they got better at it, and then realized, that is why I love it, right? So they started doing what they love doing, where they wanted to dedicate passion and hard work. They just did it, day after day, and they saw the improvement, and they kept going, and also the world seems to also enjoy their work. But most important thing, they just were doing what the life presented them with, right? And then they figure out, this is why I love it. This is why it's important to me. But then the piece of motivation, how did they find motivation to go after it day after day, even when the world collapses, right? When COVID comes in, it seems like, this is the end of the era. Like, how do they still keep going at it? And the reason is simple, because at some point they sit down or kind of had a talk with themselves, whether they realize it or not, and decided, this is the cause that I want to contribute to in this world. This is what I want to make better. Or in simple terms, this is my why. This is my message, my reason to have this life experience. And I want to dedicate my life to it. So you take again Simon Sinek. He writes different books. He talks about leadership now. He talks about leadership in workspace specifically. But underneath all of that, it's still that why. He wants people to know their why, wake up on purpose, and function from that place of deeper reason why. That's what he's trying to do with his work. Now, his work, the what of his work might change, but it's still the same why, right? Gary Vee, he might get into NFTs and crypto and a gazillion things that's going to come up, but his thing is still the same. He wants to be the greatest entrepreneur of all times, but basically what he wants to do, he wants people to understand that you can succeed in anything. Just do your thing that you love, work hard at it, learn, progress, and just go at it, right? Being an entrepreneur, being a self-starter, and for him, being the greatest entrepreneur, means also to share his journey, to show everyone, like, you don't have to have the greatest grades, you don't have to have any special talents, like he doesn't have any special talents, except that he works hard at what he does, right? But this is his talent. And then, for sure, he has quite a few insights in different areas where he worked. But that's kind of his thing. And where I'm getting at with that is they understand their why. They understand why they wake up every morning, what's important to them, what are they working on. And again, their work might change. They might write different books. They might go into different business. But for us, it would always seem like it's the same thing that they're talking about, because they are talking about the same thing. They have the same why. And why having why your reason is important. Because when you have a compelling reason, it actually, in other terms, a reward in your brain. This is very important to you. This is what brings benefits. And life meaning is one of those benefits. What brings you joy. And whatever brings you joy for your brain, it means it's a very important thing, right? What I'm getting at with that reward, that compelling reason, it switches in your brain a few things and dopamine starts to be released. And what is dopamine? It's the molecule that drives action, that helps your brain to tell the rest of the body to release energy, to give you energy, to pursue that thing, because that is very important. That is a very important reward in your brain's eye, so to speak. And that's why those people have that unlimited drive and they go after it year after year after year. And when I look at my career, at my journey as a professional and what I'm trying to do, I have that reason that I want to expand human potential by doing this work, that I want people to understand and learn how to control how we show up in the world, that we have so much more control of how we develop, of how we show up, of what we deliver. And I want to combine the science with practice. And I want to create a different system in the world and change education system in some way to deliver those tools, nutrition, but then also lifestyle. So it's part of human education. So we start working on development, on expanding our potential, because our potential, evolution is not guaranteed. It's only guaranteed when we develop ourselves. It's like the brain or the muscles. If you don't use it, you lose it, right? So I always felt that my purpose is I want to expand human potential. And one of the greatest way to expand our potential is to learn how to help the brain to do its magic and to deliver its goods, to help us keep developing ourselves, right? So this is my underlying why. And it's going to take my whole life to advance this cause. And that's why I'm going to be having motivation every single day for the rest of my life. And that's why my mental health is going to be better. And that's why my energy level is going to be better. And that's why I will keep learning and developing and improving. And I will build something big, something that I'm known for, right? So if you don't take time and don't sit down and ask yourself, what is my reason? What is important for me? What I want to develop in this life? What am I most committed to? It can be your family. It can be anything, really. It can be absolutely anything. But you gotta take time, especially in your 30s, in your 30s, in your 40s, and you still don't know that. Take time. Just freaking take time and ask yourself every day, why? Why is it important for me to have a certain life experience? What wakes me up in the morning? What would I like to change in this world, right? And today is Monday, guys. It's Monday motivation. So maybe take some time, take an hour and just sit down and write about what's important in your life. What do you want to change? What do you want to contribute to? Because if you're not going to have that, why? And, also maybe not everyone wants to be a leader in this life. I also know that. But if you feel like something missing there, that you need that deeper reason, there is no way around it. You just sit down and you work on it. You write down of all of the things that are important to you, all of the things that you might want to change, that you might want to contribute to. And you always got to ask yourself, why is this important to me, right? And that's how you unlock unlimited motivation. You got to have a deeper reason. And everyone I talk to, entrepreneur, leader, people who developing their businesses, their careers, build their own thing, they all have their why. Because that's the only energy source that's gonna keep you going. Because hard times will come up. And if every hard time will make you turn around and go somewhere else, you're never gonna develop anything worth talking about. Just not. And you're also not going to have that much energy like all of these people you admire have. They didn't have a talent. They just know their why. And they wake up every day and like, how can I get closer to that? And you have all the energy you need. By the way, guys, so your home assignment for today is to sit down and think about your why. Do you know it? And the second thing is, ta-da! We are opening the doors to my brand new Brain Mastery Academy. We start with 12-week course that starts this September 26th. And in this Brain Mastery Academy, you are going to learn and you will go through exercises to uncover your why, unlimited source of your own motivation. And you learn, most importantly, how to apply it daily to the smallest tasks and habits. But it's not obviously the only thing. It's 12 weeks where together live with 10 people, you're going to learn things like how to focus, like all the tools that neuroscience has. You're going to learn all of this that will help you to focus at any situation in any environment, to learn to deliver your work, but also to help your brain to struggle less and to be focused on just one thing instead of, wandering and being distracted and wasting a lot of time with your focus. We're going to learn how to stop procrastinating, eliminate procrastinations from your life forever. It's possible. It's actually quite simple once you know how procrastination works. We're going to learn how to get into flow state when we lose the sense of time, when things just flow through you. Creativity, your best ideas, your insights, how to get into that state as often as possible on demand, how to condition that state. We'll learn how to have confidence whenever you need it and less jitters. Like when you need to give a public talk. So you're excited, you have the energy, but you're not nervous and you don't stumble. You're going to learn how to do that. You're going to learn how to not be anxious about your daily life, about daily to-dos, because let's face it, life is uncertain. You're never going to know all of that. So how to still pursue something and take actions basically blindly and not being stopped by your own anxiety. We're going to learn how to control your state, how to be calmer when you need it, how to be more excited about the most boring shit, like sending cold emails, right? You're going to learn how to control your own state. Sometimes people ask me, Angela, so what do you say? I can control my mood? Yes, indeed you can, because mood is just your brain's analysis of what's been happening in your life, and it gives you feeling to tell you how to adjust to get to a more desired state, feeling better. But you can change the signals that you give to your brain, and you change your state and your mood. You're going to learn all about brain nutrition and what are the essential nutrients for a happy, high-performing brain. And guess what, guys? When you feed your brain right, according to the latest research, all of your body will thrive as well. You're going to master sleep and light and how to be more creative and how to take all of these routines and habits and how to install it in your life in a simple way, one by one, right? You're going to learn the science of building habits. It's going to be with 10 other people. We're going to have our community. We're going to have calls every Monday and another call to troubleshoot, to ask questions if you need it every Friday. And then you're going to have supportive people. And you'll be able to ask questions as you go implementing all of this. And each of you are going to have a system to track your progress so you know what actually works in your life specifically and when to use different tools in a very specific way. So the program is so rich, guys. It's the brain's body manual that you never got. After that, you'll understand that you have this really very high level, high performing machine, brain, body. And once you know the basic understanding of how it all works and how you can adjust it depending on the task at hand, you'll feel powerful and limitless. And that's also going to be another source of your motivation. When you feel limitless, you're going to do limitless things because why not? There is nothing that can stop you. The link to Brain Mastery Academy is in the show notes. As the listener of this podcast, you get 10% discount. And the code is podcast. So when you go to Brain Mastery Academy and you decide to sign up and you click this button to enroll and you, at the checkout, you put in podcast any case, can be lowercase, can be uppercase, you're gonna get 10% discount. If for some reason that doesn't work, always feel free to reach out. As a listener to this podcast, you can upgrade your brain cheaper. But to be honest, guys, the price in this course, it's a bargain. I've been through a lot of courses, and similar courses would cost you 3-4 times more. The reason why I'm doing this for this price is because I'm just beginning, and I do need as many people as possible to be able to sign up and to also to go through the course. Of course, I cannot make it any cheaper. For the reason is because it's a lot of my time, a lot of my work, more than 10 years of my expertise and all the research that is coming out of neuroscience labs. And I want to deliver a really great experience, game-like experience. And there are so many tools that I needed to deliver this course, right? And it's a 3-month course. So basically, it's going to prepare you for new you, truly new you in 2023. Today is Monday. Today is the beginning. Maybe it's time to sign up for something that will truly bring something new in the new year. When the rest is going to start putting their resolutions in, you're already going to be transformed. And the kind of resolutions that you make then in 2023 going to be completely different, because the better you feel, the more limitless you feel, the more limitless resolutions you make. And even if sometimes you miss the stars, you miss the moon, you still land among the stars. Yes, I think that's how you go. Shoot for the moon. Even if you fail, you're still going to end up among the stars. So Brain Mastery Academy in the show notes. Podcast is your code to get 10% discount. And the most important thing, guys, why? Write about it. What is your unlimited source of motivation? And talk to you soon.